Michigan.
Yep.
And this is Bruce Pratt, Jan Eggenfelder, Bruce Pratt. Bruce has one of our 150 horsepower engine in the Cozy 3 behind us. Now, while we're doing this video, we're basically here because Zenith is having a Rudder workshop, and it's being hosted by Steve Opperly. Steve Opperly was the first person to fly the Viking 150 in an airplane. It was installed down in Florida, and then Bruce got a wind of that there was 150 in Michigan, and he said, well, I want to put one in my Cozy. And there's two very successful installations, and both airplanes are also very successful. Now, I want to cover one thing before we get to Bruce here, and that is behind us here is Steve Opperly's Chevy Trax. Now, for those that have followed Viking aircraft would know that this is the same vehicle, or the same color and the same model that we had at Viking when we started the 140 development, because it comes out of this engine, this car. And you can find on YouTube some cool videos of us driving this car and testing it, and then it turned into the Viking 140. Now back to Bruce and his Cozy. This is also your territory up here in Michigan, right?
Yep. Yep.
And how far away from Steve are you?
Well, by drive it's 50 minutes. By airplane it's 16.
16 minutes.
16 minutes. Yeah.
Well, tell us about the flight over here this morning.
It was probably 40 degrees, and all the temperatures were good. Pretty much came over full throttle, just because it was cool and I could keep everything. All the temperatures were good, so I just wanted to see what it'd do. And
what kind of performance?
I was running about 175 miles an hour ground speed. It wasn't really a tailwind or anything. It was kind of a crosswind, but it was perfect.
All right. And you flew by yourself today?
Yep. Yep.
Now, you and me were going to go fly. I asked you if we could go flying, but we have a small amount of brake fluid we found, and we've decided not to fly, only because of that, because this airplane uses the brakes to steer. So we're not going to fly today, but I'm taking a rain check. Next time I see you, we're going to go fly.
Okay.
Now let's look at your airplane.
All right.
Now, we've seen the outside quite a bit on other videos. Can you show me the inside of the plane?
Sure.
All right. So,
basically,
tell us about what we're seeing here.
Well, I've got the engine monitor, the Viking engine monitor. I've got two steam gauges in case all else fails. At least I've got them. Then I've got the eye level, AHRS, artificial horizon. It's also got my ADS-B and vertical airspeed. It's got like its own little 6-pack you can set up through the software. And then comm radio and transponder.
Now that Viking 150, of course, that's what we're working with. It's probably very complicated to operate then, huh?
Nope.
Being like a modern Honda Viking engine.
All I have is a throttle down there. There's no carb heat, no mixture control, just the throttle.
Okay, so it's easy.
Yep.
And so this is your throttle.
Yep.
And so full throttle down the runway. What kind of speed are you looking at before you can lift the canard and go flying?
About 70 miles an hour is where I rotate, and then climb out's about 95 miles an hour. And this morning I was about 1,250 feet per minute. With two people, at gross weight, that's about 500 to 600 feet a minute.
Okay.
But it's a cool day today, so
yeah,
it's real good performance today.
Now the Cozy 3, which is this, I take it, the way I understand it, and I kind of got out of this after the very easy days that I had.
Yep.
But I know the improvements where the long easy came along, and you had a little bit more room on the sides, the little pockets there, and then Matt Puffer came out with a Cozy and Cozy 3. Now, even though it's a Cozy 3, mostly it's for baggage, right? Or
well, I use the back seat strictly for baggage.
Okay.
Nobody's ever flown back there. It's pretty much a 2-seat airplane.
But a very comfortable one.
Yeah. If you watch your fuel, you can put a third small person in the back. But the Cozy 4 is about 6 inches wider, and you've got a lot more room in the back.
So it's a very comfortable 2-seater with baggage.
Yeah, it's a comfortable 2-seater. Flies great. Don't have any issues, and it's a good little cross-country plane.
What does your maintenance look like, Bruce? Because people always ask me, and
I'm ready to do a conditional inspection, and I got about 40 hours on the oil change, and I can just now see the oil in the dipstick.
Yeah.
It was never used a drop, so
So you use more brake fluid than oil.
today, yes.
Just today. I'm
today.
just kidding about that because this has not been an issue. This was just something that we just found.
Just
yeah.
showed up this morning.
Just today, yeah. Now the cowling, you have a very slight bump on it, but other than that, I think it's pretty much a stock cowling.
Yep, that was a modified cowling I bought from Aero Composites out of California. Had to do a little bit of a bubble on one side for engine mount, but the little bump on top, that's Trevor Harris, who's might have already ordered this.
Yeah, he's working on it, yeah.
Yeah, he's looking at a 175 and a Cozy 3, and he recognized my plane from a video on Thursday when we left Oshkosh last year, this summer.
And then you're running a Duke 3-blade propeller, and of course, a variable propeller probably would work on this too. Now you have a fixed pitch propeller, and that's working fine for you.
Yep.
Okay.
It's ground adjustable. I've probably changed it about 6 times to get it where I want it.
To get the pitch set exactly where you want it.
Right.
Right. I
And
mean,
do you remember what kind of pitch setting you have now?
It's about 30 degrees right now. I have gone up as high as 32, but it gives me a little longer takeoff roll, and especially with full gross.
So you're
Rough
30 degrees at the 25 centimeter mark?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And that's working good.
That's where I've left it for the last couple of years.
And then, of course, the Honda has a single muffler on one side, and the cowling is set up originally for the Lycoming with a muffler on each side, or a tailpipe on each side.
Yep.
Well, you can see how streamlined this is for a liquid-cooled engine. There's no bumps, nothing anywhere, and just the inlet, the original NACA inlet.
Right. Yep. And it's only like 3 by 12. It's not very big.
How big is your radiator?
It's like almost 14 inches square.
And it's inside.
It fits perfect inside the engine mount.
Okay.
Yep, got a little tilts forward a little bit at the top. And I've got an air box that covers the whole inlet to the radiator. And I think today I was running about 185, but that's the thermostat. You see the thermostat
Regulating
the temperature. Even on a hot day, I don't have any issues with the new radiator.
Good. All right. And are you the brains behind? I mean, I kind of sent you, or Alyssa sent you, but I designed some mounts and pieces and an engine and a cooler for you. But you did the installation, and your brother helped, I think.
Yeah, he helped me. He mostly modified the exhaust. He got me the engine mount. I built that for me, and we figured out where the radiator would fit. And it's even the old radiator fit perfect. This one is just like a 3-pass instead of a 2-pass, and it works great even on hot days. Yeah, we just rotated the exhaust 45 degrees and pointed it backwards, and never been an issue.
And then after that, of course, you've been, how many hours now?
152 hours.
In a couple of years?
3 years.
3 years. And during that time, you have obviously perfected it. So you've done a little bit on, I see a fiberglass piece in here for the cooling the gearbox.
Yeah, I added a little NACA duct, one for engine air intake, and then this one here helps cool the gearbox, and then I've got another, just a hose that going down to the lower gear housing, because that's where all the heat is.
Okay. And if someone else, like obviously now there are other people that are looking at the Cozy 3 and 4, and they're doing the 175, and they're doing this engine. Do you think it would help them if we did more of a video on every little nut and bolt type of thing, like showing, because you obviously have a fuel system, you have the radiator installation and the ducting to that, and you mounted the ECU someplace, and you did some wiring. I think it would help if you have a friend that does video.
Yep.
If we did, if you don't mind, we do like a very detailed one on the fuel, one on the cooling, one on the mounting, for the followers that are wanting to do this now.
Maybe we could do that. Like I say, it's not, I'm going to pull the cowls off, take everything apart, and do my conditional inspection.
Yeah, that'll be a good time.
Yeah. When we got everything apart, really close up.
I think that would help because people are, I mean, you know what, you're mechanically inclined, but and people that are able to build an airplane like this are as well. But I think anyone would appreciate more of a roadmap of how to go from beginning to end.
Yep.
So we can do that.
Yeah, if you don't have a brother that has a welding shop, really the only thing you'd have to do to modify it for me, and it was just modifying the muffler.
Yeah, and that's something we would do moving forward anyway. So, but placement helps, so people just know, well, where'd you put your battery, and
to hold it where we wanted it.
Yeah.
And off of the gearbox mount, and took the engine to his shop, and we basically put a 45 where it comes off the manifold. And I'm really surprised how quiet this engine is with no muffler.
Right.
I mean, that manifold is built into the head, and I think it helps with the noise, because it's hardly any louder without the muffler.
Maybe we're getting older. Maybe we can't hear as well
Maybe
anymore.
that's what it is.
Well, nice seeing you again.
Okay, good to see you guys.
All right.
I'm gonna walk around the airplane just so people can.
If you want to see in the back, the fuel pumps are right there behind the leads.
Well, let's do the
that. Okay. See the airbox.
And I can even narrate it. If I just have the video, I can take the video.
You guys come up yesterday?
So the problem with you going to a rudder workshop is you would have to build two rudders.
Built two of them. That's right.
That's
Cost
right.
twice as much.
A left and a right. Well, you have a good flight home.